Jedi. 24!
Stop me if this sounds familiar. In Season 1, Episode 9 of a superhero show, the protagonist faces off against a corrupt businessman who also happens to be a highly trained assassin who wears a similar outfit and has similar capabilities of the protagonist. The villain nearly kills the hero, with the hero barely managing to defeat the villain and escape. If that sounds familiar, that's because these two villains fit that role perfectly. Malcolm Merlyn, the Dark Archer, and Nobu Yoshioka, the representative of the Hand. For this matchup, we will be examining these characters as they appear in their respective sources of media. For Malcolm Merlyn, we'll be examining him as he appears in Arrow Season 1, though I will be taking his feats from Seasons 2 through 5, as well as Legends of Tomorrow Season 2, into account. For Nobu Yoshioka, we'll be examining him as he appears in Season 1 of Daredevil, though I will be taking his feats from Season 2 into account. I will be examining each character's physicality, martial prowess, arsenal, and intelligence. So with that out of the way, let's begin! Round 1. Physical capabilities. Being trained by the League of Assassins, Malcolm Merlyn is in excellent physical condition for a man of his age. He's strong enough to kick someone through wooden panels and even rip right through them. He can also dent a steel beam with one kick, and break a wooden bow in half with one strike. His reflexes were great enough that he could dodge, and even catch arrows in midair, a feat he could replicate with something as small as a flechette dart. He's agile enough to jump down from rafters, and even implement acrobatic maneuvers in combat. He's durable enough to tank hits from a Mirakuru super soldier, have a flashbang arrow explode in his face, and even survive getting straight up stabbed through the chest with an arrow. His pain tolerance was great enough that he could pour boiling water over his hand without flinching, and he can endure being tortured by the League of Assassins themselves. He's also a master of stealth, as he's been seen disappearing and reappearing around his opponents. He's also a master marksman. He was able to disarm Green Arrow of his bow, then hit him while he was swinging from the rafters. He pinned someone to a wall by firing 3 arrows at the same time, tagged the metahuman Firestorm, threw 2 knives at an opponent simultaneously, and he could throw an arrow hard enough to break glass. Malcolm Merlyn truly lives up to the nickname of the Dark Archer. As a resurrected member of the Hand, Nobu Yoshioka is in peak human physical condition, and perhaps even more. He's strong enough to throw, punch, and kick Daredevil a few feet away. Even his uppercut was strong enough to knock off Daredevil's mask and make him backflip. His reflexes are great enough that he could punch a guy being flipped in midair, and deflected Daredevil's billy club throw. He's agile enough to jump down from scaffoldings, and he's been shown employing acrobatic maneuvers into his fighting style on multiple occasions. His pain tolerance is great enough that even being burned alive won't stop him from continuing the fight. He's even able to control his heart rate and body temperature to the point that even Daredevil's enhanced senses had a hard time tracking him.
You did not know I was here.
You slowed your heart, lowered your body temperature.
And as a resurrected member of the Hand, he is nearly immortal, as he has survived falling from great heights, and came back from being burned alive, with only some facial scarring. However, as a resurrected member of the Hand, Nobu Yoshioka can still be killed by decapitation. To many, death is a grave consequence, but to Nobu Yoshioka, there is no such thing. While Malcolm Merlyn is stronger and has greater reflexes, as well as being a far superior marksman, Nobu Yoshioka is faster, more agile, has a greater pain tolerance, and is nearly immortal. Point goes to Nobu Yoshioka. Round 2. Martial arts skills. As a high-ranking member of the League of Assassins, Malcolm Merlyn is a master martial artist. He is trained in boxing, Muay Thai, Wing Chun, Kali, Karate, Judo, Jiu-Jitsu, Sambo, Taekwondo, Jeet Kune Do, Krav Maga, Wushu, Kenjutsu, fencing, and archery. He easily defeated the physically imposing crime lord Brick, took down a Mirakuru soldier without the aid of a cure, trained and defeated his own daughter Thea, defeated Nissa Al Ghul, bested John Diggle, fought Sarah Lance, stalemated Damien Dark, and nearly killed Green Arrow in 3 of their 4 fights, though only lost to him during their final duel. Malcolm Merlyn is among the Arrowverse's top fighters. As a leading member of the Hand, Nobu Yoshioka is a master martial artist. He is trained in boxing, karate, judo, jiu-jitsu, wushu, taekwondo, capoeira, taijutsu, Kusarigama Jutsu, and Shuriken Jutsu. He defeated Elektra Nachios, and he fought Daredevil on 4 different occasions, nearly killing him in their first fight, outright defeating him in their second fight, but lost to him in their third and fourth fights. Nobu Yoshioka is a deadly opponent for the Man Without Fear. Both characters are master martial artists in their own right. While Nobu Yoshioka was able to go up against the likes of Elektra Nachios and Daredevil, Malcolm Merlyn has gone up against equally skilled opponents, as well as super soldiers and metahumans. Not to mention that he brings a far wider skill set than Nobu does. Point goes to Malcolm Merlyn. Round 3. Weapons and Armor. Having been trained by the League of Assassins and traveling across the world, Malcolm Merlyn has collected a wide array of weapons over the years. However, he sticks with what he's most comfortable with. He carries with him a bow and arrow set. The arrows are custom made and have been described as such.
Teflon-coated titanium blades serrated to split the bone. Shaft is some type of specialized polymer which is stronger than your typical carbon fiber.
In times of desperation, he's been known to use these arrows as makeshift melee weapons. He also carries explosive arrows powerful enough to take down Mirakuru soldiers. He carries a black customized PSE compound bow, which he can also use as a blunt striking weapon in combat. His primary melee weapon is a standard League of Assassins scimitar sword, which he can also use in conjunction with his bow. His suit is a minorly modified League of Assassins suit. It comes with a voice modulator for disguise and intimidation purposes. His suit has also been shown to be bulletproof even at point-blank range.
It's called Kevlar.
However, his suit is still vulnerable to bladed and stabbing weapons. Malcolm Merlyn's gear is as simplistic as it is modernized. As a ninja, Nobu travels lightly and only carries his bare essentials. He carries with him 4 bow shurikens, which he can throw with fast and precise efficiency. He also carries with him a red-handled Kaketsu Shoge, which he can use from a distance or up close. He can slash, cut, parry, stab, throw it and retrieve it like a rope dart, hook into his opponent and drag them around, use the chain to block attacks, and he could use the metal ring to ensnare opponents. The blades were also sharp enough to slash solid concrete. Nobu Yoshioka's weapons are simple, but very versatile. This one was hard to decide. While Malcolm Merlyn has the range advantage with his bow and customized arrows, Nobu has a more versatile melee weapon in the form of his Kaketsu Shoge, more so than Merlyn's scimitar sword. Because of this, neither combatant holds a distinct advantage over the other. This round's a tie. Round 4. Intellect. As the head of his own company and an assassin, Malcolm Merlyn is a master strategist, tactician, and manipulator. He masterminded the destruction of the Glades, faked his own death and went into hiding, and he manipulated a conflict between Team Arrow and Ra's al Ghul in order to become the new leader of the League of Assassins. He's stealthy enough to infiltrate highly secure places such as the Arrow Cave, and even the League of Assassins' home base of Nanda Parbat. His preferred combat strategy is to fight from a distance, and he only engages in close-quarters combat if the long-ranged approach doesn't work. He also uses the environment to his advantage, such as using a high structure as a vantage point, or kicking opponents into a confined space. Malcolm Merlyn truly lives up to his alias as the Magician. As a businessman and a ninja, Nobu Yoshioka is a master strategist and tactician. He organized the kidnapping of children in order to aid the Hand's plans for the Black Sky. And he masterminded the kidnapping of several people in order to lure Daredevil into a confrontation. His preferred combat strategy is to throw bow shurikens at his opponents from a medium distance in order to throw them off. He then engages in hand-to-hand combat, and when his opponent is on their back foot, he pulls out his Kaketsu Shoge for a more lethal approach. He also uses the environment to his advantage, such as slamming a door against an enemy's head, or cutting down a light fixture. Nobu Yoshioka is a formidable leader and tactician. Both combatants are brilliant tacticians and strategists, but Malcolm Merlyn is a lot more sly and underhanded. He also has a lot more of a methodical approach to combat and is a lot more willing to improvise than Nobu. Point goes to Malcolm Merlyn. And now, the verdict. This is one of my closest matchups to date. Both combatants are highly skilled in their own respects, but only one can come out victorious. Let's set up this fight. Let's say it takes place at Pier 81, where Daredevil fought Nobu for the first time. Let the battle commence! The dimly lit room of Pier 81 remained silent as the shadowy figure of the Dark Archer appeared at the doorway and entered the room. As if on cue, Nobu Yoshioka jumped down from his hiding spot and confronted the Dark Archer.
Thank you for coming. After the warehouse, I knew I'd have to do something dramatic to get your attention.
As were you. That was unexpected.
Your plans for the Black Sky could not interfere with the undertaking.
And in the act caused me displeasure.
Though I'd expect as much from you, Al-Sahir.
So you know who I am.
The Hand has existed for far longer than your League of Assassins.
The League is no longer my concern.
Yet you're still a warrior. Deserving of a warrior's death.
Bold words from Rosenfist lapdog.
I show you respect. You would be wise to return the courtesy.
Respect isn't given. It's earned.
Each combatant launched their respective projectiles, Nobu with his bow shuriken, and the Dark Archer with his arrows. Though each combatant dodged the other's attacks, with the Dark Archer even able to catch one of Nobu's bow shuriken. Then they engaged each other in close quarters combat, with the Dark Archer swinging at Nobu with his bow, while Nobu struck at any opening. Eventually, both combatants kicked each other away. The Dark Archer drew his scimitar, and Nobu drew his Kaketsu Shoge in response. Nobu attempts to attack from a distance, though the Dark Archer manages to evade it, forcing a more close-range approach. The Dark Archer strikes with his sword and his bow, though Nobu manages to parry both, and disarms him of his bow, wounding him as well. The Dark Archer attempts to slice Nobu with his sword, but is disarmed of that as well. In response to being kicked, Nobu uses the ring and chain of his weapon to ensnare his opponent, and bring him in for a devastating kick. The Dark Archer evades a finishing blow, and puts Nobu into a headlock. Though Nobu is able to rip off the Dark Archer's mask, and eventually throw him away, revealing the face of Malcolm Merlyn. Nobu retrieves his weapon and kicks Merlyn away. He cuts down a light fixture only for Merlyn to dodge, and kick Nobu's mask off, revealing his face as well.
You are a worthy opponent. It is an honor to claim your life.
That is remarkably ruthless and cold-blooded. I approve.
After putting his mask back on and bowing towards his opponent, Nobu continues his slashing onslaught, eventually hooking into Merlyn and dragging him across the ground, though Merlyn manages to pull Nobu's weapon out of himself.
You have fought well. It is not enough.
I admire you. It takes a special kind of idiot to actually get dumber with time.
Merlyn grabs one of his fallen arrows off the ground and throws it to distract Nobu, and suplexes him into a table. Merlyn grabs his bow and his last remaining arrow and shoots Nobu, though Nobu pulls the arrow out to reveal it's an explosive arrow and it blows up, knocking him away. With Nobu dazed and off balance, Merlyn grabs his scimitar sword and decapitates Nobu. I declare Malcolm Merlyn, the Dark Archer, Al-Sahir, the Magician, the winner. Of course, this is all my opinion, but what do you guys think? Who do you think would win this fight? For what reasons? Leave your thoughts in the comments below, and of course, subscribe to my channel. I'll catch you guys next time.